started today in a more rural area than where I normally am. I am in the woods of Maine and I'm ready to head out for a run, but I figured today I might try to take you with me. A lot of people tend to ask me, how do you mentally challenge and push yourself through the difficult times on the run? Which I'm assuming that means, what do you do if you get bored, or what do you do if you get tired? It's all about training your brain and putting yourself on autopilot. Autopilot, in my opinion, is setting your eyes on a distance and zoning out, not worrying about how you look, not worrying about where your feet are landing, and not really worrying about what's going on all around. And it gives you the chance to just zone out and think about these deeper thoughts that you probably wouldn't get to. I would think the best way to train yourself on autopilot would be just to start out light on your runs and start looking at the farthest focal point that you can rest your eyes on. How about resting your eyes and just leaving your eyes on a certain spot far off in the distance? Like, what's the farthest spot behind me right now? I don't know. Maybe the little barn, if you can see that. I don't know if it's even in the video. Or like a grove of trees. So you zone out onto that zone of trees, but it's like a light zone out, so you're kind of just resting your eyes there. But you rest your eyes, and then as you keep going, you kind of rest your eyes on the next zone out area, or the next area that's farthest away from you. Resting your eyes, I think that's like the best way I can explain it. And if somebody else has a better way of explaining it, that would be great. But resting your eyes is almost like when we were little kids and we used to stare at those 3D pictures and we would just sort of wait for this picture to come out. It's all about sort of doing that with your eyes. It's almost to the point where you just let it go. You just rest and you let it go, and you use your peripheral vision around you to sort of tune into any bumps in the road, any patches, any rocks, any areas that you need to steer clear of. Instead of what's on the ground, autopilot, you want to be staring at way off in the distance and just sort of training your eyes to just focus in on what's coming up. It's all about telling yourself, if I can make it to that grove of trees, if I can make it to that telephone pole, if I can make it to that house down the street, then I can make it even farther than that. That's where it all began. It's supposed to rain today, but let's hope that it doesn't. Can you see the farthest point from here? Right where my finger's pointing. That's where my eyes are going to be resting, and then as I continue around this little corner, there's going to be a new focal point for my eyes to rest on. All the while, I am using my peripheral vision to steer the pavement and the rockiness and all of that stuff, and making sure I don't run on anything. See that stop sign way down there? The end of the road? I don't know if you can see that. But that's where your eyes want to be resting right now, if you were me running. We're at the base of a very large hill, and if you didn't have autopilot on, you'd probably be thinking, when is this going to be over? When am I going to be done? And this hill's really large, so your thoughts would just go on for a really long time. Still at the base of the hill, but that's where your eyes would want to be focused, is the telephone pole or that house. I'm not staring at this anymore because the road's curved. So now I'm going to be staring straight ahead. And I don't know if you can see, there's a telephone pole way up there. That's where my eyes are going to be resting. Our focal point's changing because I'm getting really close to that telephone pole that I told you about. So I'll stop. And that white pole to the right, that's one we were staring at before. But now I don't know if you can see it. There's one. My eyes are sort of staring right where that curve of the road is. Okay, we're nearing the top of the hill, and the next focal point, rounding the corner, would be the very large tree inside this cemetery, which is like right there. Your eyes are staring and resting at that, but your peripheral vision is staring at is guiding what's going on below. That's what your peripheral's doing. It's checking out, looking ahead, making sure that you don't step on things like that, and you kind of stay here. Meanwhile, your real focus is right there. We made it to the tip top. Before I pulled over to the road, that telephone pole was where my eyes were staying still. So when I take off again, my eyes are going to be staring right at that telephone pole, and they're just staying still. That's the whole key to it. Your eyes stay still and stare at the pole and shift into the next focal point. The only thing that your eyes are doing for movement would be blinking.